Hello there. This is a small tutorial on how to V your Veronica in Forsaken. I am by no means the best Veronica player, and I will never claim to be. I think I'm pretty mid if I'm being completely honest, but I decided that it was probably necessary to make this just because me and my pal, who've been trying to figure out her mechanics recently, have been fumbling so hard, and I went and tested some stuff in a private server with my alternative account to see how to actually function her character. So this is a small tutorial. I will say, I'm not original at all. A lot of this will feature me reading stuff as it is said in Forsaken, simply so that people don't have to, and then supplying a near instantaneous physical example of what it would look like. As well as probably, I don't know, a couple little tips and tricks about things. Yeah, yes, that is the objective. And here, onto the first bit. Let's talk about V's abilities. Specifically, if we can, let's talk about her only passive, Metal Frame. Roger, roger. Veeronica cannot use standard items like medkits, Elliot's Pizza, or Builderman's Dispenser. Instead, Veeronica has a rechargeable battery that she can use to heal herself up to 50 HP at 100% charge. Veeronica will begin the round with 30% of her battery charged. Completing generator puzzles will fill 8% of her battery. For this segment, we'll also be talking about it alongside her active battery ability with the description of Oktoberfest. With a cooldown of 75 seconds, Veeronica begins slowly healing herself with her battery. Healing will stop if a maximum health is reached, battery charge runs out, or Veeronica takes any damage. This is something that I know I, as a V player, tend to gloss over and forget about a lot. In fact, I have a lot of clips of me in the video going over to do gens and, like, healing to see what it does. I feel that most of the time Veeronica players are very, very, like, for lack of a better word, we need to set up our graffiti around the map in order to actually be a character that can be, you know, self-sustainable and not get instantaneously killed. I mean, everybody knows the pain of being caught between the killer and an area with no graffiti, or having your one, like, perfectly placed graffiti destroyed and then getting instantaneously killed as you can't bumper the killer or skate away in any form. I feel that we tend to undermine generators a lot because of how much completion a generator, like, gives in terms of battery life. Because battery, let's be so for real, is, like, totally a savior. And if you think about it, there's an infinite amount of health to go around, really. If you take both the generators and also bumpering, phasing, or running around the killer with your skateboard, you could have infinitely replenishable health. And that is actually pretty cool in theory. I feel that we don't talk about that a lot. So I'm gonna go on ahead and I'm gonna play out some footage here, wherein you can see me using V's battery to heal, how much percentages can be gained from doing generators or bumpering the killer. Just like a kind of a quick montage to give you as a V player an idea as to what you're getting yourself into, and what you might want to do to replenish your health when you're getting low in round. I mean, I think we forget about our battery a lot. So you're gonna notice that right over here after we finish this generator, that's gonna get us up to 32% of our battery. So assuming that you have nothing and you do a full generator, you get 32%. That's going to heal about 16 total points of HP, which can make or break a game, depending on what your health is at. When I say make or break, I do really mean it. Here's some footage of me I'm on 75 HP, I got 100% battery charge, and let's say Slasher here hits me with a gashing move. The second that I get out of that kill animation, manage to get away from him far enough, or he could be actively pursuing me, and I could choose to use my battery. This is going to heal 50 points of HP. And that's going to bring me from about 25 HP to 75. That is a huge difference. And mind you, again, just to restate, because I see a lot of V players forgetting about this, you get battery for hitting the killer with your skateboard, phasing through them, or doing generators. So you are getting these points for playing the fucking game. Don't let those go to waste. I would say, honestly, you could probably make a huge use out of V as a sentinel, because even if, and I'll talk about this in a little bit, even if the knockback from your board isn't working, you still do get points for hitting the killer. And that is a huge thing. So again, for literally playing the game, you get points to heal yourself with. By default, you're going to start with, I think it's like 30%. 30% heals 15 points of HP, which is, again, still a lot, but probably not enough if you're on your last legs, which, let's face it, you will probably be at some point in time you're playing Forsaken. Try to remember to do gens, try to remember to heal. I'd say that's like the best advice that I can give. Okay, now it is time to talk about V's active abilities and not her passives. Vandalism. Hey! Veeronica will equip or unequip her spray can, at which point she can spray graffiti onto the wall by left-clicking and holding. It takes 5 seconds for Veeronica to fully complete a piece of graffiti. Veeronica is able to destroy her own graffiti by holding spacebar near her graffiti with her can out. Graffiti have 5 health and can be destroyed by the killer. Once a piece of graffiti has been fully completed, it will create an area that enables her to use Skate. Veeronica can place up to 3 pieces of graffiti. If any of her graffiti are destroyed by the killer, Vandalism will go on 10-second cooldown. So this one I would argue is the simplest thing for any Veeronica player to learn, or to know how to do. So you hit your Q, or your first ability if you're playing on mobile, her Vandalism or Graffiti, and you're going to place down this little graffiti patch. Mind you, it cannot be placed on the floor, it can only be placed on walls. Meaning that if you're going to graffiti somewhere, you're going to need to make sure that it has a actually structurally, like, stable wall to be placed on. And you're gonna notice once you place down this graffiti that it's decently wide. If you have like a pretty slim surface, don't worry about it. There's a high chance you'll still be able to place graffiti on it if you hit it from the right angle. But these boxes at which her graffiti creates, that little hitbox that you can see on the screen, that is the full area where you can enable Skate at. If you are outside of those areas at any other point in time, you will not be able to skate at all. You're kind of bad. You're fucked, basically. So you really do need to be close to or within or capable of quickly getting to those little areas that your graffiti creates. So most frequently, Veeronica players will actually set up their graffiti around a small area, or a very wide area, and tend to stay nearby them, just to make sure that she has some kind of cover. Me personally, when I play, I prefer to keep all of my graffiti within a close enough area to each other so that if the killer finds me, I do not have to be worried about running to the complete other side of the map when they destroy my graffiti. Because you are fucked when you do not have the ability to escape. Let us get on to what I think is the most important ability that Veeronica has. Skate. Subway Surfer's gameplay in the corner. Cooldown of 5 seconds, it can only be used when inside of a graffiti area. Veeronica begins skating at 1.15 times her running speed, while using 1.35 more stamina compared to the regular sprinting speed. While skating, Veeronica has extremely limited turn control. Upon crashing into a wall or the killer, Veeronica will take 5 self-damage and be afflicted with slowness 4, for about 2.5 seconds. Veeronica can stop skating at any time by recasting the ability. If Veeronica runs out of stamina, Skate will end immediately. When activating Skate, the graffiti piece she used becomes briefly highlighted within 25 studs, visible to both her and the killer. This is a thing that many people might not know about. I mean, it took me and Deji, the friend who I'm making this video for, it took me and him a while to actually figure this out. Skate, subcategory, trick. No way. Cooldown of 1 second. When approaching a collidable surface, Veeronica will glow and can perform a trick with the spacebar to rebound off of it. Doing this grants her full air control while airborne, as well as 4 stamina and a speed boost while in the air. Tricking 3 times in a row will charge Veeronica's battery by 5%. Attempting to trick on nothing will still place trick on cooldown. So, as you can see, this is probably her most versatile skill. The ability to mount her skateboard and, rebound off of objects instead of taking damage, which she would normally take for running into a wall. There are subcategories to Skate, but outside of this, it simply just puts you on your skateboard, lets you run around a little bit. Isn't that nice? Don't you like running around? I know I do. I love running around. You can see some clips of me running into walls and shit. I'm not the best at skateboard control, but hey, it is fun. It is a lot of fun, and that's what matters. Broadcast, with a cooldown of 1 second, switches between 3 channels which affect the behavior of Skate. Hey, phase. Upon colliding with the killer, gain resistance 2 for 3 seconds and speed 2 for 1.5 and phase through the killer. Phasing through a killer will charge Veeronica's battery by 15%. This effect can only be used once per skate. Bumper! Upon crashing into the killer, Veeronica will knock them back and charge her battery by 15%. Crashing into the killer this way will deal no self-damage. Skate will immediately end once Veeronica crashes into the killer. If the killer has been hit by a bumper Veeronica within the last 20 seconds, they will not be knocked back. Mobile. Trick's increased turn cooldown lingers for 2 seconds after landing. These effects cannot be switched through during skate. I do actually have quite a bit to talk about. In regards to our beloved mobile, but I believe, and I could be incorrect, but my personal theory with this is that the turn control thing that it alludes to is that you can turn easier when using mobile, and that's literally it. You don't go faster, you don't do nothing, it's just if you have mobile enabled, you're using this likely to get away from the killer, so that you don't have to interact with them, and so that they can't track your ass and chase you down. As for Bumper, very, very blatantly obviously, can be used to knock back the killer once every 20 seconds. And yes, this does count for every other Veeronica that could possibly bumper into the killer. Bumper's my favorite to do. Actually, I have a little clip that I'll play on screen right now, but I tested out if the damage of Bumper could eventually kill a killer, assuming that you had no cooldown. It can. It can kill them. It's very fun. But, it also has the astounding effect to knock a killer back. People will most frequently be using Bumper at the top of staircases because it will have the most rewarding amount of knockback due to how longitudinally, I suppose, the killer will have to fall. Sometimes people will set up Veeronica's graffiti specifically near certain areas to bumper the killer off of and send them flying off to their doom off the edge of a building so that they're easier to escape, leaving more time for both Veeronica and whoever else is around her to get the fuck out of the killer's radius and probably waste their time with a little bit of kiting. As for phase, I do not have any advice on this one, and I don't really have a lot of commentary to give because of the fact that I don't use phase all that often. I would say that phase might be more useful instead of mobile if you're being actively pursued by the killer. So let's make a hypothetical. Let's say that John Doe is chasing you down, and he is like 20 studs away from you. He's really fucking close. And you're about to get your ass beat. You're probably going to want to use phase so that you can run right through him and avoid whatever attack he's going to come at you with. However, with mobile, let's say that John Doe's like 150 studs away and you have time to like get on that skateboard, get out of his radius, and I don't know, stick him on a sentinel, right? You're going to want to use mobile so that you can better like guide yourself as you're moving away from the killer, and hopefully on your way to a different piece of graffiti. So, that is pretty much all that I have to say for the duration of this video. Probably very useless in the grand scheme of things, probably very unoriginal, as I tend to be. My apologies, broken-hearted emoji. But, yeah. That is a basic overview of Veeronica, a couple tips and tricks that I can provide. Probably not the world's most in-depth guide, but again, do bear in mind I'm not the world's most advanced Veeronica player. I'd say I'm probably average, maybe even below average. This is just me telling people what I would do personally, since I'm much better at games in theory than I am at games in execution. I hope that this can maybe benefit at least somebody out there. Yeah, that is the game. That's Veeronica. Thank you for watching.